Welcome to Al and Ha, two friends talking crypto and sports. Let's get it.
All right, so let's dive into a little bit of NBA here. Obviously, we're both Laker fans, so let's talk about them a little bit. The real question: can they repeat?
They won it last year and they got better.
That we both feel that way, and it seems like everybody you listen to, as far as
They
sports
won it last year and they won free agency.
easily. And I will say easily. Like people can say what they want to say, they won easily. Never really got tested in the playoffs and got better. Like you said, they got obviously lost some guys that were key role. I think Rondo is obviously a playoff guy, but I feel like he's replaceable. Obviously, he's bounced around.
I like Dwight Howard. I liked his role on the team.
So did I. I think
love Dwight Howard.
Came back. I think he made it right for Laker fans from that first stint when he was with Kobe and that went south. He played well. I don't know what happened to JaVale. I think we talked. I don't know if he was injured, but he just they did not play him in the playoffs. He's not back. But when you sit there and look at, they won the title. They bring in Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers,
baller,
and Schroeder, who
baller.
Harrell was the sixth man of the year, and Schroeder was the runner-up. You bring those two, and you bring in Marc Gasol, who's a big man who defends the paint. Yeah, he can match up pretty well with Jokic. I feel like same skill set. You bring in Wes Matthews, who will stretch the floor, shoot the three.
Yeah, play some defense.
And then you still got Caruso,
Talon Horton, Talon, whatever it is. Yeah, Tucker.
He's balling right now. Yeah. And you got obviously the two-headed monster, man. You got Braun and AD, and AD freaking the other night against the Suns went 6 of 7 from downtown. Like that dude is a monster. Like he could be as good as he wants to be, man. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I know mentally, I feel like he's in and out sometimes. He even talked about that last year, I think, in the playoffs or something. Like talking with LeBron about you just got to be aggressive every night and just play your game and not worry about everything else.
Because he has him. You know, he knows he can go out there, and I know there's pressure on him, whatever, if he signed a fat contract, I get it. But ultimately, it ain't like LeBron fell off. His ass ain't fell off at all. And you still got him on the squad. So you can go out, a little loosey-goosey, carefree. Like, I'm just going to go out here and do my thing because ultimately, if I'm having a bad night, I know this motherfucker ain't going to have a bad night. And if he's having a bad night, you got Kuzma, you got Harrell, you got Schroeder, like, you got Gasol, like, they're holding tough. You got they got dudes, man.
I feel like
they got dudes.
I feel like they upgraded at every position, especially off the bench. Kuzma just signed his extension. I feel like Kuzma, we talked about this before. He got a rough deal last year with, he came in off the injury. He didn't play at the beginning of the season, trying to find his role. And then COVID happened because he was starting to play a little bit better right before that. COVID happens. You don't know what's going to happen. They get into the bubble and it's kind of, and now he's trying to feel his way out again. I feel like he this year, he's going to break back out again. I think he's going to, and we talked about it, like, you want him scoring 19 or do you want him to score 12 and be really efficient? I'd rather him score 12 because he's not going to have to score 19.
Yeah, score that 12.
That was Schroeder.
Play some defense and run the floor.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Right.
And then the thing about it is if Kuzma, if Pelinka, if they win the championship and Pelinka does not win GM of the year.
He should have won last year.
He should have won last year. But getting the team better, and if they do it again, then something's up.
The funny part is how many people clowned on Pelinka when the Kawhi went to the Clippers because they were waiting for him, and then he put together. And I was watching him every signing he made. I was like, I like it. Like it wasn't the flashiest signing. Yeah, it wasn't the flashiest signings, but they fit. And that's the thing. What you have to understand is like NBA, you get your guys, and you got to have fit. So I agree.
And Kawhi said today he's thinking about not re-signing, going into free agency. I guess he didn't sign a long deal or whatever the case may be. He said that today.
He's a weirdo. But yeah, can the Lakers repeat? I truly feel they can. I don't, especially if they stay healthy.
They got to try to not repeat. And I know there's some other teams and they're good, but they got two of the top four.
Yeah.
Well, according to the top five,
two of the top three. So,
so And then everybody else, it ain't like, they're deep 1 through 9, deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
No, I agree. They got better. So
So
it's going to be interesting.
yeah, good luck.
Let's touch on Kawhi staying the Clippers, obviously across town. The real question, I guess, is can they get to the second round? I feel like they kind of got a little bit better. I like Ibaka. You still you're weak at point guard. Like I love Patrick Beverly's
me too.
tenacity and everything, but it's
not
what
a point.
He is.
Not what they need right now.
Yeah, he needs to get a shot and be a little bit more consistent offensively. And can PG get out of the playoff slump?
I don't know.
And I don't know what the deal is with Kawhi and all that. I get it. You didn't want to.
It's got to be like everybody else.
This is for the COVID thing, but everybody else was in it too. So you can make excuses.
He's got to be like everybody else. I know he's a star, but he's going to get some. But you know what I'm saying? Like I heard they were doing above and beyond things that he would be able to do that that doesn't work well. You know what I'm saying?
I've read things like he was controlling when they practiced and, if they practiced and whatever they did. And it's like, you got to, and, you sit back, you can blame Doc Rivers all you want, which obviously NBA is the one sport. I mean, football to the extent, but NBA is really like their coach is gone first.
Oh, I know.
So
I know. Because they signed the guaranteed contracts. They're there, and if they really like the player and the player's bringing in that money, the coach would go.
But
quickly.
you could talk about it. PG, I thought was a low blow. Trying to blame Doc Rivers for no adjustments. Like, did you watch those last 3 games you guys blew, Paul? Like, you were shooting 3-pointers off the side of the backboard in Game 7. That Doc Rivers ain't shooting that shot. So I'm really confused.
There's at some point it comes down to playing defense and then making shots.
Right.
And even if you have to go old school and him and Kawhi got to play pick and roll, or you got to pick and roll with somebody, or Montrezl Harrell and he posts up on the wing, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, if the shit ain't working, and you don't blame the coaches. I've seen players do this shit all the time. Yeah, we ain't running that shit.
Right.
And then they just they run their own thing, and especially when it gets down to it in crunch time of a regular season game. But we're talking about the playoffs.
Yeah.
The dudes, hey, we got to do this.
Yep. No, I agree.
So,
I mean, I think the Clippers are 2 or 3 in the West. I mean, so they could obviously win it, but really, you got to get past the second round. They haven't been past the second round, even with all those years of football and everything. They keep getting bumped out and upset. So it's gonna be interesting.
And it ain't like the West is easy to get through.
Yeah, it's loaded. Let's talk about some of the big offseason moves. Let's touch on Westbrook and Wall trade. Obviously, Westbrook getting moved out of Houston, going to Washington, and then John Wall coming to Houston. It's a wash to me.
I tell you this, I think Houston won this trade. I love Westbrook. I do, always have. But we spoke about this. He has to evolve his game, because he's not the same player he was when he popped into the league. He has to evolve his game. He makes strides toward. You see those games where he's not shooting a lot of jump shots and he's more efficient, driving to the basket or whatever, working on his mid range. But I love John Wall's game. I've always loved John Wall's game. I know he hasn't been the strongest shooter, but he's coming off. I think he's coming off this injury.
Right, Achilles.
Yeah, but he was looking good. You know what I'm saying? And if he can stay healthy, I think Houston won this trade, man.
Yeah, the catch with Houston, the trade is going to be Harden, obviously, but that's different there. But if Harden were to stay, I kind of agreed. Like you said, it kind of depends on Westbrook. I think I like Bradley Beal. I think actually the Westbrook and obviously Wall even playing there, I think they sneak into the 7th or 8th seed in the East. But we talked about it, like we said, we talked about this. Like Westbrook, you would think at some point, like you look at all the really good players in the league or the great players in the league, they develop their game. They find something else to get better at so they could attack somebody. And so you would think Westbrook's he's not the biggest. He's like 6'3", but he's rocked.
Strong.
I think he could take some of those dudes on a lower, get a post game. Like you're not an interesting 3-point shooter, but you jack him up. But it's just one of those. I don't know why he hasn't attempted to
get on
develop.
that
Maybe
block,
he has, but
work
he
on
hasn't
that footwork.
shown. Right, he hasn't shown that he could develop that extra game that can maybe take his game to the next level. And I also feel like he's just he's got that ego where it's like he can't see that his game sometimes hurts the team, and he just keeps going.
Yeah.
You know, it's even like with KD. Like when you have KD on your team and you're not letting him touch the ball in the last minutes of games, like that's an issue. That's a you issue. That's not anybody else, but a you issue, and that's an ego issue. But I agree. The difference for me with him and Wall, I think they're kind of the same player.
Yeah.
John Wall just understands his game. Like he's gonna pull up on a fast break and try to jack up a three. Like he knows he's not the greatest shooter. He's gonna go to the rack and get the layup or go to the foul line.
And I'm willing to say this as well. When he starts to get longer in his career, I bet you'll see his ass in the post.
Yeah,
because he's another one of those stronger. Like he probably have been a great safety outside linebacker type. Because I think he's like 6'4", around 2 something. But yeah, he's strong. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think
so. Watch, I'll bet you we'll see. They need to talk to Mark Jackson is what they need to do.
Yeah.
But hey, man,
how did you change your game? But
yeah, you lace me on this post game real quick.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think if obviously I like Wall. I love Westbrook. I love his tenacity. I love his. Me
too. Intensity. I love Westbrook. I do. I love the way he plays.
I left at the fact when the kid tapped him on the shoulder and he looked like he was turned and was going to swing on some parent, but it was a kid. I don't know if you ever saw that, but
No, I didn't.
He was like standing on the sideline and some kid was like patting him on the shoulder and he turned like he was ready to swing on some dude. And it was this like little 8-year-old kid like just wanted to say what's up to him in the middle of the game. But love his intensity, but he's got to figure out how to get his game better.
And him and Dame Lillard are must-see TV. They are.
Dame's one of my favorite players in the league, man.
Yeah, I love Dame Lillard. But they are must-see TV.
Dame time, baby. But yeah, let's jump to the Bucks here. They obviously in a trade get Drew Holiday.
Love Drew Holiday.
Giannis signs the extension. Whether that had anything to do with it or not, who knows? But it sure seems like it. Drew Holiday is nice. I think it was a good pickup. Plays really good defense.
Yeah.
Can get his own shot. Yeah, real underrated. I think he fits really well there.
He has post game.
Yeah, he's developed a post game. Go figure. Plays good defense, but I just think he fits really well in Milwaukee, man. I think it was a good fit. They needed a little bit of change-up. No ego.
He adjusts. He's one of those players that he can go out and get 25 if he need to, or he can facilitate and he'll understand and he'll appreciate that he has Giannis on his team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll get his 12 to 15 a game, his 8-9 assists, his 6-7 rebounds, play good solid defense, play his 30 minutes a game through the regular season and be straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And do what he has to do in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying, to win.
Right. Now, if him fitting, I think he fits in well with Middleton and Giannis. Obviously, Brook Lopez kind of had a resurgence in his career there. That's going to be interesting. I think they're definitely one of the favorites, obviously, to win the East. Now, if they can get out of the playoffs, struggled the last few years. Obviously, I think even with Giannis getting hurt this last year, I think Miami would have beat them. They were down, I think, 3-1, and
it didn't matter.
Giannis got hurt, but I don't think it happened. It happens anyway, but they're definitely one of the favorites out of the East.
And they still have no shot against the Lakers.
Yeah,
okay, keep going.
Yeah, agree. But and then Harden, obviously the big talk now, requested moving out of Houston, even after the John Wall trade, which I didn't think that was going to change anything.
Harden looks like he should be playing middle linebacker right now.
He looks like me, dog. You see that picture of him? He looks like he literally sat on his couch, ate pizza every night, and did nothing for 2 months.
He's got to be at least 240.
And then came out and just was draining shots. So whatever. But he always has been. I mean, here's another guy who developed his game. We talk about developing his game. He was the sixth man with Westbrook and KD, and went way past Westbrook as far as talent. But it's going to be interesting because I don't know. I mean, he's still got 2 years left. Yeah, you could argue that for sure. But he's got 2 years left on his contract in Houston, so they really don't have to rush it. Obviously, if they keep waiting, the trade deal is probably going to get less. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Who gets him?
I'd trade him. I would trade him. And it would be for the highest bidder.
I would too. He honestly, he's done he's gotten you to the finals, and all that. But then you look at,
it's run its time. It's run its course.
Move on.
You know what I'm saying? You got Wall, and I like Boogie. I hope he can stay healthy.
Yep. And
I've always liked Boogie.
Wall and Boogie are excited to play together again. So,
and if he don't want to be there, trade his ass, and you can get a King's ransom for him.
Somebody
will pay.
He's requesting to go to like Brooklyn or Philly. I'd be like, nope. I'm gonna go send your ass to Sacramento or like. No, but give me a bunch of draft picks or whoever.
Yeah, I would stock up on draft picks, and I would get a really good player to supplement what they now have. Understanding it's going to be like maybe I've got to finish building up for the next 2 years, but hopefully Boogie stays healthy, Wall stays healthy, and whatever piece they bring in, and they draft a couple of good people.
Yep.
Yeah, and potentially be ready to go.
No, I agree. I think they get somebody in there that can shoot, play some defense. I think it'd be and with some picks, I think it'd be a good deal for him. Yeah, he's always bothered me. I've never liked his game, but fantastic player. But I just never been a fan of his game. But yeah, either way, Houston ain't going anywhere. I don't know if he goes anywhere and makes him a threat to the Lakers, but
no,
couple spots.
Yeah.
But I just feel like
if he goes to Brooklyn and they don't have to give up Kyrie or Durant, then they might have a chance to win like 2 games.
They only play,
but they will still losing like 6. I know.
They're going to stand around.
And who's going to play defense?
Okay, KD, it's your turn. Like you play ISO all this time. Okay, Kyrie, your turn. Okay, Jay, like they all stand around. That was Harden and Chris Paul got into it because when Chris Paul had the ball, Harden would just go stand in the corner. Like, like move, man. But yeah, who knows? Whatever. But Harden, I have a feeling before long he'll be out. I don't think it's going to last very long. I think they're going to move him before too long. And then you just kind of touched on it. KD's back. He's been playing getting his feet wet. So him and Kyrie and Brooklyn, do they pose a threat in your eyes at all? I don't even say to the Lakers, just in general.
In the East?
In the East, getting to the finals.
I don't honestly, I don't know enough about their defense or how they're gonna, because somebody's got to play defense, and you gotta have your right pieces. Who's gonna be the goon? Who's gonna be all that kind of stuff is and we got to see how many minutes KD is playing and how they ramp him up over the next how many games are they playing this year? Do you know?
It's like I want to say 72 or something like that. Like they cut it by about 10 or 15.
Well, that's good. Yeah. But they got to load manage him. Is he going to start off playing 20-25 a game? Are you going to start taking L's? And if you start taking L's, are you willing to up that and risk potentially getting him hurt to try to make the playoffs?
Right.
So
we talked about this the other night. Like KD and Kyrie, obviously, KD's top 5. If he gets back to his point, he's top 4, I would say minimum player in the league. But I just feel like if everybody's talking about Brooklyn, it's like I brought this up to you the other night. Like they're not better than Golden State when he was there, by any means.
Well, here's a question for you: KD or Kyrie, or Giannis and Drew Holiday?
If with them two with the same supporting cast around them, I'm taking KD.
But no, I'm not. See, that's what I'm saying. The key is the supporting cast. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, if it's the same supporting cast, I'm taking them. But if it's, I don't know, man. I think KD's a different monster. If KD is back, I think KD puts them over the top of Milwaukee.
You think KD can do what he can do against everybody else against Giannis?
Yeah, because I think he's long enough and quick enough. He'll get his shot off. That would be an interesting. I would love to see that matchup. Actually, that'd be an awesome.
Because I would honestly say that I think they would stand eye to eye with each other, and I think Giannis's arms might be longer. And I don't think anybody, and it's not
physical.
Because Giannis, to me, Giannis and KD got the same body type, but Giannis and KD don't have the same body type as Anthony Davis. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like I see Giannis and KD almost just like long threes.
Right.
But AD actually has the body of a 4.
Right. No, I agree. I do think Giannis is by far, like as far as physicality, I think he would pose an issue for KD. I know KD is obviously got more physical as he's gotten into his career, but he's
Right.
still not physical. So I think
Right.
Giannis can cause him issues getting into him, just using his body against him to wear him out. If KD gets back to where KD was before the Achilles,
I know he's
that's an
he's
issue.
a monster. I get it, but
I just feel
it would
like
be interesting to see because Giannis ain't no punk on defense, and
Right.
he's all of 6'10",
two-time
6'11",
player,
and
defensive
long,
player of the year, back to back.
and he's long, and he's
Oh.
agile. He can move, cover ground. It's different, than somebody 6'7" guarding KD. It's somebody his height.
No, I agree.
He don't have that. You
They're
know what I'm saying? There's not many people that are as quick as him that can stay in front of him potentially.
Right.
Not to say that Giannis can, but he has the potential quickness to do it.
Right. Yeah, no,
that
totally agree. I'd love to see the matchup. I just think in the NBA, great offense beats great defense. And so I feel like if KD could get to that point, I feel like he would win the matchup. I don't know, man. That's a good question. Like him and Holiday, Kyrie, I'm not a huge fan, man. Like I love his
he has to change his game.
Like that Mamba mentality, like give me the last shot.
Yeah.
I love that. But I just don't feel like if you name top 10 players in the league, he ain't coming up. I feel like, at what point do you? And they got a couple, they got Chris LeVert, is good young up and coming player. Spencer
Dinwiddie,
Jared Allen at center. So they got some decent pieces. I just don't think they pose a threat, and let alone get out of the East. I think Miami's going to be a problem this year.
Miami's going to be a problem.
Philly, obviously,
they're hungry.
Doc, I think will be in it.
Yeah.
Toronto is going to be competitive. Obviously, Milwaukee. Boston, I feel like, got better moving Hayward. Just getting him out of there because I feel like that was a log jam there where they didn't really know what to do, and he didn't really fit.
He was getting paid too.
Okay, and the Brooklyn's going to be it's going to be interesting because like I said, they aren't Golden State.
No.
When you look at that team that KD was with, so I don't know. Obviously, if they get Harden, it's a different story. I think it elevates them. It'd be interesting to see.
No way Houston trades Harden without getting Kyrie back.
Right, and I agree. Or the whole team plus their 10-year picks. But I just don't see them posing a threat, to be honest with you. Even if they did make it to the finals, like I feel like KD will get his. Kyrie, I just feel like he's not consistent enough, and they don't have the role players they don't have enough to do it.
They don't have enough. They just don't have enough because if they did, you think of all the people. They can throw Harrell at KD. They can throw Kuzma at KD. They can throw Davis at KD. They can throw LeBron at KD, and then have all those 6'6" wings or 6'4" down to talent, but with his long ass arms, he's damn near 6'6". To guard Kyrie. Like they got so many dudes.
No, I know. And so I trust it. I don't see them really posing a threat to the Lakers. As far as and even getting out of the East, it'll be interesting to see if they can get out of the East.
Yeah, if I had to go with anybody as of right now, I would go back for Miami, just because above all, they are a bunch of
Jimmy Butler's
dogs.
Goon.
Jimmy Butler impressed the hell out of me last year. I didn't know he had all that. I knew he had game. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was one of those, one of those fringe max players that some team would give a max like. I thought he was better than Gordon Hayward, but like one of those, you know what I'm saying? But
like somebody's going to max him because they need to keep him or they need to get him.
And he's good enough for it. Yeah, I'm not saying that but no, he's a max player.
I've always liked Jimmy. I like his griminess. Before the whole LeBron stuff, like I think it was a year before when he went to Philly, I was wanting him bad in LA. Like I wanted Jimmy bad just because I liked him. Obviously,
he makes the team better.
Yeah, we were
every team he's been at. He makes the team better,
and he grinds. So it's one of those he fits Pat Riley down there in Miami really well. They build their team with goons. Deo or however the hell you say his name is up and
Bam.
Baller. Gordon Dragic is balling. You got little Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero,
they're going to be a factor for years to come here.
And they got experience, championship experience.
Yep, and so that's the thing. Out of the East, I think it's going to be harder for KD, for Brooklyn to get out of the East than everybody thinks it's going to be.
The East is going to be a dogfight.
I just don't think the role players don't have the experience. They have DeAndre Jordan too, but
Yeah.
Later in his
I
career,
remember
he's
like
not
this.
near the defensive stalwart that he
No.
was.
hmm
And then, I mean, they have some good young role players, but no experience in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that'll be the interesting factor of once they get into the playoffs. I think they'll
And they
obviously
never play
get in.
together.
Right.
It's a learning experience. And yeah, they got 72 games to throw. We'll figure out how to learn, but until you get in a playoff game and you say, okay, well, I want the last shot. Well, I want the last shot. Like, are they going to be another Westbrook and Durant type of deal? You know what I'm saying? How is that going to work
Get
out?
close, but never get there. I can see that more than anything, to be honest with you. Like, it's Westbrook and Durant part 2, essentially. Like, they'll get close, get there maybe, but they won't win it.
Kyrie has to change his game.
Yeah.
He has to understand that he has potentially one of the baddest men in the league. So ultimately, I need to play off of him. I'll control it, but he need to get his touches.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's gonna be an interesting basketball season. I'm excited. Tip-offs tomorrow night, Lakers and Clippers. I think Brooklyn plays Golden State tomorrow night too, so that'll be fun to watch.
Oh, that should be very fun. I don't even know Draymond is playing. I've been checking the box score for Golden State. He has not played anything.
I just feel bad for with Klay Thompson going out again.
Oh no.
I love Klay, like great player. Love Steph the way he plays. They're going to struggle to make the 8th seed.
I got a question for you real quick before we get out of here. Is LaMelo better than Lonzo right now?
Right now? I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see the Clippers play Charlotte, and I want to see Pat Beverly do what he did to Lonzo. He just bodied him up and knocked him over. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other day, and I got into it with our boy E about it. And nothing but love for Eric. But I was never a huge Lonzo fan. I think he's a good player, but I thought there was better players in that draft. But he, I don't know, man. I love Lonzo. I think his game, his offensive game, obviously shooting the ball wise, still needs to improve.
Actually, he was up to 37%. He got up to 37% this year. That's not half bad, especially where he came from.
Yeah, definitely. But I would take Lonzo right now. But if you're going to ask me in 5 years where they're at, I don't know, man. LaMelo be doing some wild ass shit. Like is he? I've seen a couple highlights of him throwing dimes and stuff, and making a few shots.
He threw a little bounce pass, no look. He was just going on the right side on a fast break, just kind of dribbling. I think he took 2 dribbles, and then he gave a little shovel, didn't even look, dime, and then a little behind the back, dime. Like I don't know, man. He's freaky as hell shooting.
Yeah.
But
what's interesting, and even watching him like in highlights in high school or wherever in Australia, wherever he was playing the last couple of years, I feel like him and Lonzo, they're obviously, same family tree, like grew up learning the same stuff, but I feel like their games are so different. Like I feel like Lonzo is very structured.
Yes.
Plays defense, like plays within the system. Is going to make those great passes, but they're not necessarily the flashy ones, but they're the ones that are like on point. You know what I mean? Like right out the tips of the defender.
Yeah.
Get it there.
It's a game you like to watch,
right?
But it's not flat. But you still like. I love watching him play. I do.
No, I did too.
Even when he was at UCLA, I hated UCLA, and I hated when he was out there. But I like to watch him play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like LaMelo plays so fucking free. He is free out there playing.
Well, even just watching him jack up from half court, like he was walking up the court, and you just see the difference in his attitude and kind of how he goes about it. I agree though. I love I hate to knock on Lonzo because I love his game. I really do. Like even with the Lakers, as much as I felt like there was other dudes that we could have got it to, that were.
I was rooting for him,
and I liked it. I like his game. We just needed somebody that could score. You know what I mean? And he wasn't it. And so that's where as a fit for the Lakers at that moment, I didn't want Lonzo because he wasn't a good fit for what we needed. And the funny part is you look at Magic Johnson, arguably the greatest point guard of all time. And like him and Michael Jordan, like two of the worst freaking front office people you've ever seen. And I mean, and the funny thing is I love Magic, but he, after last year and he like dipped on the Lakers, like no, he didn't tell anybody. He's like, I ain't coming back. Like there's that meme of him like I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
And then he's on Twitter this year, like, oh, the Lakers look fantastic and da 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 da. Rob Pelinka put together such, and I'm like, shut your ass up, dude. Like you put together trash, got in arguments with Pelinka, and then dipped because you couldn't handle it. And then now we win the chip, and you're like, oh, I'm my Lakers. Like, I get it. Like he's always going to be the Magic, but I was just like, come on, man. Yeah, at that time, Lonzo just didn't fit. Like I love Lonzo, and it was just we needed somebody, a different type of game. At that point, we didn't have the scorer. I mean, we had Bi, we had.
We were young. Babies,
really young, and we didn't have that pure like score. A dude that could get to the rack anytime, that aggressive, like just that offensive aggressive basketball player that we needed at the time. And Lonzo wasn't that, and he wasn't that in college. He, like I said, he played the system. He ran the offense and went through and did his thing, and more power.
So you're taking Lonzo right now?
Right? Yeah, I would. If you asked me to put a team together, yeah, I'd take Lonzo over LaMelo right now. But again, ask me in 2 years. I think LaMelo's ceiling is higher? Yeah, I do. And a lot of it's just because of how he attacks the game. That's it.
Free.
He's free. Lonzo's even the way Lonzo moves. When you watch Lonzo, he's very kind of robotic. He's robotic. He's very structured when he runs and moves and everything. So I think LaMelo's got that extra little juice.
Flair. Yeah, he does.
That could possibly do it. He's got that little Steph Curry in him that he don't.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna do him. He's not gonna worry about anybody else. It's gonna be exciting to watch him play. I'm actually really excited to see Lonzo and LaMelo line up or match up against.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely because they're gonna go at. LaMelo's going to go after Lonzo. I think Lonzo will stay in the structure of the game and try to get the LaMelo's going to try and score 40.
Can you see? I have a feeling. You know what's going to happen? Lonzo's going to do the Pat Bev to LaMelo. Like Lonzo is thick. Like, have you seen Lonzo? Like after that first
No, I haven't seen him in a minute.
Go, like when we get a chance, like go look at a picture of him now. Like he's been in the weight room. Like he's tatted up. Like he's freaking. LaMelo's going to come walking down the court, and Lonzo's going to stand right in front of him and knock his ass over. And it's welcome to the league, little bro.
That's going to be funny.
It's going to be so.
No, I got to check him out. No, I did see this thing though. Lonzo bought everybody Xboxes.
Oh, I saw
on the and then I guess Zion saw and was like, "Who did this?" And then Lonzo act like he shed a tear or whatever the case may be. Went over there and Lonzo tried to shake his hand, and Zion slapped his hands. Nah, man, give me a hug. Went in and hugged his ass. That's some cool shit, though, man.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like, I'm kind of a low key like Pelicans fan, honestly. Like all those
me too. All those Lakers on there. Me too.
Yeah, Lonzo, Josh Hart I love Josh Hart. And
they're gonna run people into the ground, and I'm glad Bi got paid.
Yeah, so am
I. Lonzo's gonna opt it. Lonzo's not going to extend. He's going to test free agency. That should be interesting.
I think he won't get a ton of money.
He ain't going to get max.
He's a good role.
He can sign a Kuzma.
Yeah, I agree.
12 to 15.
He's
12 to 15 million.
He's a good defensive player. He's a big long guard.
See, that's the thing. I think he can fuck around and be a first team defensive player.
Yeah,
I think he can. I think he has that. Like he'll mess around. I think he can get maybe second team this year. I think he has a long to get first team, but he definitely has that type of. I see him if he can stay with the Pelicans and he has Bi and Zion, so people that are going to get buckets.
Right.
Like he can be a 8, 9 assist, 7, 8 rebound. You know what I'm saying? 11, 12 point. Be 40% from because he'll be jacking up maybe like 4 or 5 a game. But that's his game. And he plays great defense.
He could be a bigger version
because he plays D already.
Yeah, he could be a bigger version of Rondo. Essentially, when Rondo was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like Rondo was the
Yeah.
stat filler.
Yeah.
And
With a
played
better
well.
shot.
Yeah. And his shots getting better. He could definitely be a stat filler.
Because he understands the game.
Yeah.
The boy's smart. The boys understand the game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That'll be interesting. But I used to love those videos of Josh Hart, all those videos of him with the high fives and everybody not high fiving him. You ever watch those?
And he just yeah. Yeah, get himself.
High fiving himself. But all right. So that'll close out this episode, touching on some sports. Anything else real quick? Playoffs about to get started. Pittsburgh just took an L to Cincinnati tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, like we touched on earlier, it's always good to be streaking, like with wins into the playoffs. It's probably not good to be, probably not good going the other way.
Definitely.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting playoffs. NBA season starting. I'm excited. It's definitely my second love, probably yours too, as far as watching. So it's going to be a fun season. It'll be interesting to see what happens. This is Al and the Ha signing out.